Alright, here we go. Hey, my name is Eric. I'm making faces that you can talk to in your web browser. It's an open source project called Wisp. Let me demo some recent progress. Alright, so I worked for about an hour on just one really tiny part of the UI, which is this slider widget. And an hour was not enough for me to finish the slider widget. So I'm going to use this session to finish it off. But essentially, I got it to a point where it'll render this line and the button there. And if you pass a value between 0 and 100%, it will take it to the correct location inside of this rendering here. And continuing with that today, I want to add the ability to click this button and drag it around on the slider. And that's it. That's what I'm doing. Now, this feeds into this overall dialogue, which is meant to be used for trimming the silence from the beginning and end of speech audio. And it's supposed to be like a really simple thing that you can do inside of this app, and alleviates the need for you to go edit it in some other software. Altogether, this dialogue is part of a workflow where you record all the audio you need, but linked up to lines that will be linked to assets that are used by let's just say a game, to make it simple. The game being you talking to a character with an animated face. Okay, so if I take one of these takes and I move it onto the finalize button, it brings up this dialogue here that I've been playing with. Not playing with, I've been working on it. It's not just playing with it. Jeez, should not be so self-deprecating. All right, then there's a second dialogue that is also a stub dialogue until I get everything hooked up to it, and it will be for showing the automated generation of lip animation for the speech audio. So, yeah, let's get this slider going. Okay, looser and tighter. Okay. So a thing I noticed was there's multiple measurements that I need to make and update. So every time I change the size of the window, or every time I maybe do a zoom in or out, oops. Do a zoom like that. If you're a user and you want the text to be bigger or smaller, you can do that kind of thing. So every time I make one of those adjustments, or just arrive at the page for the first time, I need to measure the width in pixels of this area here and the width of this thumb, and then do some calcs to figure out like how to place the thumb. And initially, I just had these two measurements, but I realized that I'm doing some other measurement calculation to calc the thumb position, and some of that data is going to be needed for dragging. So here I'm calculating the travel width, or the area that the thumb can traverse horizontally. That is also needed when the user's dragging on the thumb and tries to drag it off to the right. They need to have some kind of indication of how far is too far. So I figure I'll create a new type called layout measurements and just start putting all those kind of calculated variables and measured variables inside of it. And I'll have one setter for it. And I already gave myself the name of it. It's going to be layout measurements. I can see in the function name below. I thought about what it should be called, and that's what it is. Okay, the thumb width, I'll go there. Then let me think about this next part. Let's see. could say travel width, and I could say min x. Well, yeah, because min x will take into account this padding that I'm going to calculate, and max x number. Okay. So if I say update layout measurements, let's just do it like this. Layout measurements, set layout measurements. And we'll use the type that I just created. Initial state. I could just allow it to start out as null, or I think this will be a little bit simpler. Init layout measurements. It'll be updated afterwards, but just something to return a non-null, minimally populated structure. So return, and then it's probably going to figure out all this stuff. Yeah. Yep. Yep. And might as well write that concise. Okay. And I just like that as a solution a little bit better than accepting null, because I don't really have a meaningful value of null, or it's like it's not a meaningful state for me. Okay, so container and thumb, and then we'll say set layout measurements. That's it. And then this will be the same signature up here. Okay. Const. Okay, and this will just pass in layout measurements. Okay. So this would be, let's see, const. Also, let's go with min x. And do I really need container width? No, I need travel width. I don't want to lose this little bit of code. Let's put this over here. Okay. This is going to be min x. Yeah, that's basically it. Okay, so over here, const next layout measurements equals, no, I don't need that. Okay, container width equals, yeah, thumb width, yeah, travel width, see if you get it. No, you don't. Okay, const padding width equals, not really. It's going to be thumb width times 0.7. Okay, and then let's get the thumb width. thumb width equals that, and then this can just be passed through, and then this is already wrong. Let's do a math round on this. Okay. And travel width will be okay. Const. Container width. Yep. And let's do that. This is going to be container width minus padding width times 2. And then min x, yep. Max x, yes. Not quite. It will be min x plus travel width. Okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's the problem with assigning these directly, is they're not available to use until they're assigned to a variable. Okay. Make it a little more concise. Thumb, and then let's do set layout measurements. Layout measurements. I just don't feel like either declaring the whole function as a inlined as a type, or declaring a callback type for it. It's over both. I'm good with just letting it be a function. Okay. Now what is your complaint here? Travel width. Oh, because I've got it down here too. Okay. Okay, then it's going to be set layout measurements. Yep, like that. Okay. Okay. So then, I want to just check and see if I regressed. Did I regress?
5.
I did not. I'm doing just fine. Just fine. It's handling all the responsiveness too. Cool. All right. So what next? I think let's multi-line this, because I'm about to add some more wordy props to it. Okay, so on mouse down equals, yep, on mouse up, yeah, that, but also there'll be some other stuff to do, and let's see. On mouse move equals. Just go ahead, try it out. Go ahead. No ideas? Okay. See, everybody's worried about AI just taking our jobs, but you still got to have like either the grand scheme of what you want to do, but be okay. If you have the grand idea of what you want to do, like the overall thing you want to do, either you're going to spend a lot of time specifying how to make it exactly what you want, and prompt engineering is not really the ultimate interface for accomplishing that. Or the other way that you can go is, I don't care that much. Just give me an invoice entry system. I don't care that much. Just give me something you can enter invoices into, and it bloop, gives you something. And then I suppose you can like fiddle around with it and say, but make it this way, but make it blue, but make it have all the fields in one column. And you get in this sort of conversational thing with it, but it's just not as rigorous and as reproducible and as specific as what you could accomplish with a programming language. Now, I do see a future for more languages that are, what's the term for it? Is it declarative, data-based? Like, you just say what you want, and then you don't say, like, how it will be created. You don't say, like, individual instructions or anything like that. But you specify in some detail what it is that you want. And, like, HTML is that. HTML is, like, purely declarative up until you add, like, JavaScript and scripting languages into it. So imagine like a way where you say, I want an invoice creation form. And then there's like standard ways to say like for the web or mobile or, it needs to be for this target audience, or it has to link into this other kind of data. It's for this country and the accounting rules that are associated with that country. There's should be some declarative way that you can say what you want. And prompt engineering with the English language on its own, it does not feel like it's ever going to get the level of specificity that people demand when they actually set out to create products or enterprise software. There are needs to be met, and there's designs to be created to satisfy those needs. And I don't mean to like be blind to how automation can end up doing work for us. We're pessimistic about what the capabilities are, but I can tell you that it's not that close. What we have now, as great as it is, all the ChatGPT and Copilot stuff, it's cool. It's very powerful. It will get more powerful. There's going to be all kinds of whoa, it did that moments, but it's a far distance from just make the exact app that is wanted, make the exact software that is wanted in a small amount of effort. It's not automated. It's not time to fire all the programmers. It's not even close to that. Yeah. But I do understand people's apprehension about it. I think the very most likely thing is that the type of work that software engineers perform will change a lot. And there'll continue to be the set of tools we have now, but they'll be refined and optimized for hybrid human AI work. Okay, on mouse move. If is dragging. Okay, so this is interesting. I could pass the value up to the container and have it just call back in. But to be honest, that feels ephemeral to me. I don't feel like not the container, but the parent component. I don't feel like the parent component really needs to know every single mouse movement that affects the drag. It needs to know the ending position of the drag. So with that in mind, I think drag pos becomes state variable, and the initial state will be let's just leave it at that. And let's set the thumb position here. So we'll say const next thumb pos. Yeah. And then set next, or set, oh, not drag, well, no, thumb pos. Okay, this one's a little tricky. If it resizes, then I need to set the thumb position based on something. Let's just set it based on the value again. That's all I gotta do. That's all I gotta do. Okay. And what am I looking at? Oh, yeah, I already got this down below here. Okay. So that should do the depths. And, okay. So then let's just make this less verbose. Yeah, well, I'm fucking up a little bit here. Okay. This is just set thumb pos. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, here, do I need that? I do not. Just get rid of that. Okay, so if it's dragging, if we're dragging, then I want to set the thumb pos based on like the drag position, I guess. So I'm going to need the event, and it will need to pass into set thumb pos calc thumb pos from drag x, and then getting messed up with all these little open and closes. All right, I lost track. Let's just figure it out. Okay, I don't see anything for that. Okay, on mouse move. Oh no, like that. Okay. Alright, so calc thumb, pause from drag X, and then this is where I really wouldn't mind if it would just pop in the... Sometimes Copilot just leaves me hanging, to be honest. Let me give it a little... Yeah. And you're right, you do need to pass in layout measurements. I need to pass in layout measurements, okay. So event client X, we'll work with that. And what did I mess up? Probably this little bit here. Yeah. Okay, there. Okay, so then this guy. And I don't mind doing this. No, but I will probably have to write that too, but that's not the one I want to write right now. Actually, you did a little bit of work here. Let's see. Maybe I'll come back to that and use it. But that's not what I'm actually trying to write right now. All right, see if you can figure it out. Copilot. It's not bad. In fact, that might be exactly what's needed. So get the min x and max x from the layout measurements. And then we clamp it. Basically what I need to do. There might be a little bit of tweaking with the offset. All right, I'll be right back.
Just look away.
What a bruise.
Pushing on its own doesn't matter.
Violet, I've pushed people by accident.
Rather we not focus on that Shabazz look.
He's upset, but he's always upset.
She's probably fine, but don't draw attention to
I
yourself.
don't care if she's a pusher.
Like,
We'll go back to normal. Just read it.
They want to ruin it for everyone else.
send the other call and see what they say.
You're saying
Hey,
she's too
nobody
pushy.
died. You should be more
Can we
afraid.
get a beard in here?
Why is it that hard? She just wanted people to clear the path.
She pushed someone
Oh, she's one of those types.
in the first place. But do we understand?
Hey, just look away.
What a bruise.
Pushing on its own doesn't matter.
Violet, I've pushed people by accident.
Rather we not focus on that Shabazz look.
He's upset, but he's always upset.
She's probably fine.
All right, back to it. Okay. So when we're moving the mouse over the groove area and we're dragging, we'll set the thumb position to be equal to this clamped value from the drag X. And I think there'll be an offset to apply, but let's start with this and see how it works. Okay, it already kind of put this in a weird spot. when I grabbed it and dragged it, okay, there's a few problems there. Oh, I'm remembering a few things. Like the mouse up has to happen inside of this area for it to work. There's some bugs there. There's definitely some bugs there. I don't like seeing this go past the spot where I had it stopping at before. Feels like I need to slow down on this. So let's start with disabling the mouse move logic. Let's just make sure I've got dragging start and stop working fine. So we'll do some console logs on that. Is this a bad day for me? Oh yeah, I'm just having trouble matching up curly braces, which is not usually something I have trouble with. Not dragging. Okay, bam. Alright. So there, it positioned correctly. Dragging, not dragging. Dragging. Then I let go outside of this groove area and it didn't, detect it. Dragging, not dragging. Wait, can I get to... Oh. It doesn't do it over the whole groove area. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I've got it associated with that area there. Okay. I feel like I already figured this out once before. Where did I figure this out already? Okay, so the way I did it here was, I said, let's go and drag it. When you get out over here, I'm still holding on to it. When I come back in, I'm still holding on to it. But I have to let up somewhere. I have to let up on my mouse somewhere inside of the area. Is that true? Because if I go out here and then I let my mouse up, yeah, it's good. It doesn't hold on forever. Yeah. Alright, so let me see what I did there. Because the event that I really care about in this case is that when you let up off the mouse and it's not within the area that is draggable, that it actually releases the dragging state and says we're not dragging anymore. So since I've already figured that out once before, let's just see what I came up with. Face is common. Face event util. Okay, faces screen. I've got a whole bunch of stuff about dragging. kind of wonder, do I just register a general event handler on the window and call it good? So, who's calling on mouse up? On face canvas mouse up. Two usages. Yeah, this is what I did. I just added this document mouse up listener. I had to call the same callback. Okay. All right. No problem. Okay, well, I'll fix one thing first. It's a little bit simpler. Which is that the mouse up can be in here. Dragging, then let go, not dragging, okay. So anywhere in here, that works. Okay, it's not actually dragging because I disabled that, because I had some other bugs. I wanted to get this drag on, drag off stuff working as expected. Okay, so then I also need to add, you know, I don't even know if I need a handler inside of here. I think I just need a general handler. So kind of like I have this window event resizer thing here. Okay, this is fucked up a little bit. The indentation is fucked up. There we go. And then, wait, no, more than that. Yeah, because this is the dependency stuff here. How does this compile? It's not. That's not right. Okay. So you're adding the event listener. Okay, and then this would need to be inside of here to work correctly. And that, okay, resize, yeah. I wish it would just let me choose the indentation I want, okay. And you're pissing me off again, there we go. Okay, now it makes more sense. Okay, now let's also add an event listener. I don't know why it keeps on indenting so weird. Add an event listener for mouse up. Yeah, kinda. The problem is, no, this is not quite right. So the trick is that I need to reference other variables inside of this handler on the mouse up. But whatever variables I reference inside of a use effect, they're going to be dependencies. And if I add them, that means this whole chunk of initialization code gets called every time any of those changes, which isn't correct. So okay, a way I can do it though is only set dragging to false, and then down here I can create a second use effect. This one will be fired when is dragging changes. Is dragging, and also thumb pass. Dang it. So if I only had is dragging as dependency, I could rely on this only being called when is dragging changes. But the thing that I need to do also relies upon the thumb position. And as soon as I add thumb position as a dependency, that means that this is going to get called every single time that the thumb position changes. All right, just for now, let's start with that, although there's a part that's missing. I do want to know if we stop dragging when expected. This is, boy, these use effects, they're kind of tricky. Because there's two kinds of variables to look at. One is the kinds of variables that are meant to trigger the execution of that code, and the others are just variables that you need to use. You declare them both in the exact same way. But that causes this to be called more times than I would actually want it to be called. think it's okay for now. And then let's take the on mouse up out of here. And then let's see if I'm in trouble yet. I'm in trouble. What are you complaining about? Probably, yeah. Yeah, annoying. There ought to be some way to specify, run this. Here, let me just add some garbage so it stops. Oh, it's gonna crash. Ooh, close it. There we go. We'll reopen it. Okay. And ooh, even just clicking on the speech screen causes it to crash again. Okay. We'll just do this for now. All right. And let's see if I can get it back to. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna. Okay, cool. I start to see how to untangle this. So let's just have this return. Yeah, next layout measurements. Oops. Next layout. Okay. Then I don't need to pull in the dependency of layout measurements. I can just say that. Yeah, I could probably make this a bit drier. Got the same 3 lines here. Let's do. So what am I going to pass in? I need value. Value, and then let's do set layout measurements. Yeah, that there. And then it's just going to be these 3 lines. I Just gotta pass in container and thumb too. Okay, so this update and all this stuff goes here. And we do, yep, container thumb value, yep, that. And then over here, same deal. And then now, I think I at least stopped it from, we'll see. I think I stopped it from crashing. Okay. Dragging, not dragging. Dragging, not dragging. Okay. Got that part done. Oh, not the hiccups. Not the hiccups. Maybe that'll fix it. Okay, I know this works, so I'll take out the console logs. Can bring this part back in, see how dragging works. It's probably still going to be messed up. Calc thumb pos from drag X, event client X, and this is dragging over the space of this container that the thumb would be inside of, but it should honestly be this container. So let's move it to there. Because the positioning of the thumb is inside of this container. It's relative to this parent. So drop that there. Jesus. Indentation is really fucked up right now. Don't know why. Okay. Okay, so if I take this and drag it, it moved all the way off to the right. Oh, then I'm doing something. Now I'm clearly the offset is not correct. I always have some trouble figuring out exactly which X coordinate from the event to get and use. Let's go back to here. Okay, this is... Where is my... So for you, you're just saying... That's all, okay, that's all the mouse up stuff. Okay. I should remember to do this too. So if I'm to remove these things, that means I need to give them named functions. Const on resize equals. Then we will take this guy here. Okay. On mouse up. Yep. Okay, and this I can make briefer. Just call this on resize. And this can be on mouse up. And for cleanup, return, just did window here, but it could be document. Window, let's see, return. Yep. That's it. Okay. So that still didn't give me any closer to fixing the bug I just saw, but let's just make sure I haven't regressed. Okay, so far so good. Figure out this part now. Okay, I don't want that. Go look at what I was actually referencing or dragging elsewhere in the apps. I mean, this is it here. Okay, part UI manager. Yeah, okay, event, native event, offset X. Okay, back to the slider. Kinda starting to work. Doing something else that doesn't make any sense, but sort of almost working. What? What? Why would you? Why don't we just see what happens if I don't put any logic in this at all? Let's just return drag x. Okay, you're still kind of fucked up. Still got a console log in there somewhere. Or do I? Feels like the hot reloads got out of sync. I wonder if there's some other code that's setting this incorrectly. But first off, let's just see what these values look like. Okay, so an interesting thing is that the drag x values are actually going every once in a while to 0 or -0. Maybe there's some way of discarding some of those events. But it's quite strange though that I can get those. Where is this used? Okay. Okay, I say if not event or not button down, let's return. I mean, I could do that too, and it would allow me to stop checking the is dragging thing. I kind of like that. It won't fix the bug in question, but yeah, I think that's a distraction. Let's leave that alone. So why does drag x sometimes... This might be like a propagate events thing. Could be that I'm getting sometimes the events from the thumb propagating down. So let's go to the thumb. Go ahead, what do you think? What do you think? Come on, Copilot, come on. Event. Stop. Propagation. Sometimes it leaves me hanging. Okay, now what's your complaint here? No, that's not it. Oh, this. Okay. So I do that. Yeah. Not very smooth, I gotta say that much. Let's clear this. Did I get rid of all the zeros? Yeah, I did. So that event propagation was the trick. Okay. So let's add back in the clamping. Whenever I say clamp, I think of a Futurama character called Clamps. It stopped me over here. That's kind of nice. Didn't stop me there very well. That looks like I'm off by half. But am I off in the min-max? Oh, I think I'm off by the calc thumb pos, because I need to go like... Yeah. See why it's chunky in one direction and not the other. It's waiting for me to move past the area of the button. Huh. Okay, one thing at a time. Yeah, it is doing that not so smooth thing, but how important is that to me? I mean, that's pretty good. It seems like I could propagate the values and get them to give more information, but then I'd also let those weird events that are not even for the right control. I see a beautiful crow outside. And it can't see me because of the light, how it shines on my window. But it's kind of a rare thing that you can just stare at a crow without agitating it. It's kind of nice. Just admire the crow. I think I'm going to call this good. I don't need that smoothness so much, to be honest. I think that's going to be fine. Not quite done. I need the mouse up to fire off a value change event. Okay, I can get rid of this. Okay, here's where it might get a little tricky. So on this on mouse up, the kind of trivial thing to say is, well, you know what we do is right here, we'll go ahead and calculate the new value and pass it up. Actually, I think I can see a way to do it. I don't actually have to, like, reference the value at all. Yeah. Okay. But, okay, there is one trick to it, though. It's like if... It's dependency stuff. Alright, let me just write a new one and just see how well that works. Okay, is dragging. Okay. Now this works as long as this is the only dependency other than like setters. Setters are fine. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So the layout measurements. Okay, I don't need... No, I do need the layout measurements, which makes them a dependency, so I have to think about, will that break everything? The thumb position I don't need. I can calculate that from the event. Oh, except I don't have it here. I do have the event up here. All right. This is garbage. Yes, let's see. Is dragging. Okay, do I need the value? What's the value actually being used for? Sometimes I like hooks and sometimes I don't. this isn't great either because okay. Okay, and then yeah, like that. And then on change next value. What is your complaint? That's fine. Okay. Clear that. This should be about 50%. Nope. Dude, come on. Okay. So, okay, can... Yeah, I don't get that. Okay. So the event came in as something that wasn't expected. Okay. Clear that. Bring it to the middle. Drop. Okay. It's a mouse event. Oh, right, because it's not a React event handler. It's a DOM event handler or plain JS event handler. It's not going to have the same structure. It's going to be just offset X, I guess. Although this doesn't look correct. Be honest. Yeah, okay. So, oh, this is tricky. This is tricky. I think I got it though. Do I got it? Do I got it? From this mouse up event, I can get an X value relative to like the top left hand corner. So client X 289. I guess this is like 289 here. I have to add that to the X coordinate of of control. Which means more layout measurement stuff to add. Is that the right way to do it? Kind of annoys me. I gotta add that complexity to it. Is there a better way? Yeah, you know what? Why don't we do something like just get it from the thumb boss? Because thumb position is set every time this is we drag. So I just need the signal. Just need the signal that we're done. I think also there's like, you set the thumb pause one more time maybe. No, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. When you mouse up, you're done. Okay. That means that this can go back to being simpler. I might as well just Control Z it. Okay. All this is setting the thumb position. I just need to figure out some way to get the thumb position in a way that makes sense. Okay, so let's do use effect. This is dragging, but then there's also kind of like a it's something that only will send this when there's a change. How do I know that? Inside use effect, how to tell if variable changed. Yeah. And if the answer is you have to create your own state around it, yeah, okay. He's doing his own state management. Is there just a nicer, simpler answer? I can do my own state management. It just complicates things. No, that's a dependency. I don't want to. Yeah, state management. Okay. I've got the gist. There's no real magic to use. You just gotta do your own state management. So I can do was dragging, I think. Okay. If is dragging not equal was dragging, then let's set was dragging to is dragging. Okay. So here I'll check for changes. If not is dragging and was dragging, then yep, that's it. So it would have been nice if I could have just used is dragging, but because I'm declaring thumb pass and layout measurements as dependencies, when either of these change, it would cause this code to be executed again, and then is dragging being false would cause it to always fire with that variable. So let's let's see how this does. Pretty close to getting this done here. All right, clear that. Letting go. Ooh, didn't catch it. Didn't catch it. Didn't catch it. Didn't do it. Okay. If not is dragging and was dragging. All right. Let's see if the is dragging was dragging works at least. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that looked pretty good. So first, we were neither dragging currently or previously. Then at some point I was dragging. I mean, is dragging is true, but I wasn't dragging previously. That's the boundary state that I'm interested in. Then the next render, it set was dragging to match. Then there's another boundary state here. Then it goes back to sameness. Good. Okay, so that part is doing fine. It seemed like there should have been at least one time where it was not dragging, but it was dragging previously. That would have been here. So I don't know why the code didn't fire there. Yeah, since I know this part probably works fine, let's just move it up to here. Clear this out. Okay. So whenever that's called, it seems like it's already they're already synced up. Was dragging, is dragging. So maybe I need to do something like okay, let's see. If is dragging equals was dragging, just return without doing anything. Okay. And then we'll say if not is dragging. New position. Then down here, say set this to match. And while that code will make it call back, it'll exit out at the top. Clear that. There we go. There we go. And I don't know if this is actually correct yet. Let me go and check it out. Because I let Copilot just plop it in. And I don't know if that's right. Calc value from ThumbPos. Okay, so we said I have no idea if this is right or not. It doesn't feel like the way I would write it. Let me just write it how I think it should be written, and maybe it'll just show me that the code above is already correct. So that's min x travel width. That all seems fine. So thumb position will be within min x and max x, or min x plus travel width. const ratio equals thumb pos minus min x divided by travel width. Now that gives me a number between 0 and 1. And let me see if I already wrote a clamp function somewhere. I did. Let me just put this somewhere I can reuse it. Add TypeScript file num_util number util export function clamp. All right, and let's yeah. Well, common number util. There we go. And then with that, I want to clamp my thumb position between min x and max x. Okay, that comes from here. Okay, so divide by travel width, and then times 100, and I feel like math rounding it here. Return, yeah, that one, you're right. Probably the first thing you said was good too. Okay, now what the other place I had clamp, I want to refactor that. Okay, so I should fix that. Yeah, let's just console log this thing. Clear that. 53, yeah, that's pretty good. 48, yeah, that's pretty good. 0. 95, I don't like that. I don't like that. Should be able to get it to 100. I can only get it to 95, huh? I think I might know why. So I clamp the thumb pass. Okay, so this is another place where it's clamping. I do kind of wonder, is it... This will probably do exactly the same thing, just a little bit nicer code. Yeah. Yeah. 93, 95. Okay. So what's off? Where the place where it's stopping it is correct. Maybe I need to add this back in over here. Oh, stop. That's probably it. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. That is it. All right. This is a great place to stop. There is like one tiny thing to do on the slider, which is I just want some CSS when you mouse over that it does that same kind of yes, I'm clickable thing. That's it. You know what? I bet I can do that in 5 minutes. I can say I'm done with this friggin' slider. I bet there just isn't that much left. Because that's just a little bit of hover CSS. Okay. So, yeah. But there's a bit of an animation or something. Okay, this stuff. Yeah, let's just copy this over. Okay, we'll import the colors for the buttons. Okay, and this color here should just be button. Button highlight. And this is going to be thumb. Okay, let's see what that does. That's it. Pull out the console log, commit and push, and I'm done. And the session will be done. And I'll be kind of happy. Let's just return this. Okay, 3 hours to make a slider from scratch. That is what I clocked in at. but it works. It's reusable. Git status, git add, source, git commit a, slider widget works. Slider component. Done. Alright. So I think that's it. Stopping the stream. Gonna go make myself some dinner. Be back tomorrow to work on the more